When people hear about Jobs' approach, they sometimes assume that you also have to be an arsehole. And this is the conflicting thing, because the world has changed since Jobs was in a leadership position. Things have gone a little bit more soft, shall one say. Have you seen all types of leadership win out in that regard? The direct, signal-focused, kind of brash approach, but also the kind approach?
I don't think kind works. I think respect works. The same number of assholes are out there being successful now as they were back in the 90s. It doesn't matter whether you're an asshole or whether people like you or not. I mean, people get so stuck on this stuff. It's the team you're building are not your friends. They are the team you're building to execute on a mandate. Your customers come first, they're more important. And then, of course, the employees, and how are they respected or not. There are people that work for me I don't like. It doesn't matter. I respect them. I respect their ability to execute. And that, above all, is the most important thing. If you start getting into interpersonal relationships, you will fail, because you may have to fire that person one day. People that hire family take huge risk. Nepotism's a horrible disease. It's some of the greatest private companies on earth never let the kids run them. They just put them on the board and they hire professional management. That's how they keep wealth multi-generational. Think about Tetra Pak, for example. People may not know that name, but it's a massive successful company. IKEA. I mean, it's sort of, you have to learn those lessons. It's about respect in both directions. It's not about likability or softness or some social metric. It really isn't. And trying to redefine leadership that way because it's on trend, it's not going to work.
I started my first business at 12 years old, and then I started more businesses at 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. And at that time, what I didn't realize is that being a founder with no money meant that I also had to be the marketeer, the sales rep, the finance team, customer service, and the recruiter. But if you're starting a business today, thankfully there's a tool that wears all of those hats for you. Our sponsor today, which is Shopify. Because of all of its AI integrations, using Shopify feels a bit like you've hired an entire growth team from day one, taking care of writing product descriptions, your website design, and enhancing your product's images. Not to mention the bits you'd expect Shopify to handle, like the shipping, like the taxes, like the inventory. And if you're looking to get your business started, go to shopify.com/Bartlett and sign up for a $1 per month trial. That's shopify.com/Bartlett. What about finding, the definition of the word company is group of people. So in terms of finding great people, is there anything that you can offer to entrepreneurs that are listening about how you've done that and what you've learned over time, the mistakes you've made with assembling your group of people?
Yeah, hiring them without testing them first. I made that mistake.
So you now test them first?
Yeah. Just because someone says they can execute doesn't mean they can. I mean, of course, when you're in an interview, you're not going to say, I can't execute. You're looking at their past, you're saying, this looks terrific. Looks like you can fit in, but it's on a piece of paper. You haven't been road tested yet, put in a situation where they have to make individual decisions that have consequence. The people you want are able to make decisions that have consequence. Good consequence, bad consequence. You don't know yet, but they have to be able to make that decision on their own without calling you up because you gave them that mandate. Maybe you put a set of parameter, you can spend $1 million, no more, without calling me, but whatever it is, I don't want to hear from them. I just want the outcome.
What about resilience and hard work? How much does that matter to you? Because I know you said they can work when, as long as they get the job done. But are you trying to figure out if they are a bit of a psychopath in terms of hard work, if they're possessed, obsessed?
I don't find the ones that are psychopaths, hard work, are actually the most successful. It's not the case. I find the ones that are eclectic people that have other pursuits that are nothing to do with the business they're in, that do crazy stuff. Maybe it's riding motorcycles in the desert. I don't know, these are the examples I'm just using because I'm living with them. And say, look, I've got to go and ride a bicycle across the desert. Okay, how many days are you gonna be gone? I don't know, maybe 3. Okay, is there anything that is immediate? That tells me that if you look at the year's outcome from that person, you're going to find that they probably outperformed. You want the eclectic ones. You want the ones that are not just robots working. It's going to be cheaper to get a robot if you want a robot. I'm going to buy those too when they come available. But I want people that have creative and unusual solutions that, just think outside of the box. It's really interesting that way.
The other thing that everybody wants to hear from you about is how to keep and grow your wealth. Because, making wealth, I kind of understand through the lens of entrepreneurship, take a big bet, hopefully have an exit or, draw a dividend or make profit from a company you've started. But in terms of what you did and your relationship with your money, what is the most important things for someone to understand who's just trying to grow their money?
No, I learned this from my mother, and I actually built a whole indexing company around it. When I was very young, I found out something so she was fiercely independent. She's one of 3 daughters of Lebanese descent. My Irish father, my original father, biological father, was Irish. She didn't, there she is, Georgette. So, I haven't seen that picture in a while. She was very independent, and she never ever wanted a man to control her life, so she started at an early age when she was working for her father. They paid the girls, the family all worked there. She worked in the accounting department and billing, but she got paid cash. And so she would take 20% that cash each week, and she would put it into 2 asset classes: stocks that paid dividends, large cap stocks, and telco bonds. 7-year telco bonds paid about 6.5% to 8% back then. She bought the long bonds. She had that portfolio for 55 years. She never spent any of the principal, only the dividends and the interest. She put my brother and I through college. She took care of her family and her sisters when they fell on hard times. But her rule is very simple. No more than 5% in any one stock or bond of the portfolio, and no more than 20% in any one sector, ever, ever. So when a stock ran up past 5, she'd sell it down. This is not genius, this is just diversification. And when she passed, and I was the older brother, and I saw the portfolio, because the lawyer said, listen, you gotta come down here, you're the executor of the will. I said, yeah, but my mother was middle class. He said, no, you gotta come down here. She kept her account secret from both of her husbands. She wanted her own independent money. And back then you could do that. And damn, what that portfolio did. The performance was extraordinary. It was beyond any hedge fund guy or anything. 55 years. When I saw the results, I said, that's it. That's how I'm going to invest for the rest of my life. Exactly the way Georgette did. No more than 5% in any one stock ever, no matter what it is, and no more than 20% in any one sector, with the exception of real estate, which is a very large part of what I have in net worth. And it's a third. So that's broken the rule, but there's reasons for that, and I'm very happy with that portfolio. But if everybody that's listening to this does that, they will maintain and grow their wealth. But it's people bet, they make big bets. They think they're so damn right. They put half their net worth into one sector or one stock and they get wiped out. That's what happens.